Ladies and gentlemen, live from DSP Studio in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri, Don Stevens, David Beard. It's DSP Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, David Beard.
Don, let me just ring the bell twice. Dung, dung. Sorry, our teams have been eliminated, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I know. What is the point? Years ago,
it's so frustrating.
Years ago, Tommy Lasorda did a commercial for Major League Baseball, encouraging people to watch the World Series even though their team lost.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to watch the finals no matter what because I'm pretty sure Miami's going to be in it. So I'm going to be going crazy for Dallas or whoever's against them.
Well, why don't we just go straight to the NBA and talk about how LeBron James apparently apologized to Cleveland.
Yeah, it was weird. It was kind of off the cuff. I don't think it was planned, and I don't know. It's probably about a year too late, but hey, what the heck? Douchebag
is still a douchebag.
Yeah, agreed.
And, of course, Boston fell to them. I watched two of those games. I was in front of the television for two of those games, and at least I got to see them win one out of the two that I watched, which was exciting. The other one was just painful. How many of the LA games did you watch?
I watched every game that wasn't on against NASCAR. I watched, and then I watched all four Laker games. But I can tell you, after halfway through the second game, I think I even made a comment on our Facebook page. The Lakers were done. They weren't even trying.
Yeah. Well, I know that I went ahead and I did the forego thing. I foregoed the NASCAR game race to watch the Celtics play, and it was an exciting game, and I'm glad I did, and I enjoyed it. Then I tuned in at the end of the NASCAR race and watched it. But
great race.
I thought for sure that after Boston won that game, that they would win the next one.
Yeah, I wasn't too. I don't know. I watched all the games, and they did. To me, Miami just looked like, I don't want to say the better team, but the younger team. They were just more active.
Well, maybe so, and I'll let you know in a moment here what my pick is for the next series. But the most important thing to understand, people, is that all hope is not lost. Miami can still lose and be embarrassed by potentially right now 4 other NBA teams.
Well, my hope is that LeBron James took his talent to Miami or to South Beach and doesn't end up with a ring. That would be great.
Yeah, I think he probably shouldn't get the ring. But you know what? Hey, that's life. So, Dave, I'll start with the NASCAR picks tonight. So why don't you start with the NBA picks?
Okay, I'm going to go with the team who I picked to win it all in the beginning of the year, and I hope I'm wrong, and I'll be rooting against myself. I'm going to take Miami over Chicago, and I'm going to take Dallas over Oklahoma or Memphis, whoever it is. It looks like it's going to be Oklahoma, but they looked really good against the Lakers. I mean, they did not miss a shot. So I think it's going to be Miami and Dallas in the final.
All right. Well, I think that Miami will probably beat Chicago. But Chicago was coming on strong there for a while in the season. So they're not a weak team by any means whatsoever.
No, they're not. They're good.
So, I mean, it's a flip of a coin, really. So I've got this penny here. I'm going to flip it. Heads Miami, tails Chicago. And I'm going to say Miami's going to win. So we're both picking Miami. Now for the Dallas versus Oklahoma or Memphis, I pick, if Dallas plays Oklahoma, I'm going to go with Oklahoma. And if they play Memphis, I'm going to go with Dallas. So right now,
I think that's a good pick.
I'm leaning that it's going to be Oklahoma versus Miami in the finals.
If it is a Dallas-Miami final, it's a rematch of, I believe it was like 4 or 5 years ago when Shaq won his only title in Miami. So that would be a rematch, which would be fun to watch.
I hear the Celtics are having a garage sale. 2 O'Neills. Yes, 2 O'Neills for the price of 1.
Well, I think only one can play.
All right. Well, there we go. That's your NBA news right there. The next thing that we're going to get to tonight is NASCAR. Now, the last race was at
Darlington.
What?
Darlington.
Darlington. All right. So this one's Dover. Coming up is Dover. Now, the Darlington race, I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw the end of it, and it was pretty darn exciting. And a young guy got his first official victory.
Yes.
Now,
yeah, absolutely, it was great.
It was. Now, what got me was the end of the race. Apparently, was it Kevin Harvick, who likes to pretend to drink beer when he wins?
Does he actually not drink? Is that why you say that?
Oh, God, it's ridiculous. He's got his mouth shut, and he pours the beer over his closed mouth.
So he basically doesn't drink alcohol, but he has to act like it's a sponsored it.
I guess so. I mean, it'd be better if he just poured it over his head.
Or put something else in the bottle.
Well, no, that would be wrong, to put something else in the bottle. But, I mean, it's a can. He opens the can up, and he pours it onto his face where his mouth is, like he's drinking it. And it's clear the man is not drinking the beer. Now, I know maybe there's a whole drinking and driving thing going on here, but he's done driving. The race is over. I know he doesn't ride that the hauler, so it's
Don, when Dale Jr. was with Budweiser, he won a lot of races, and I mean that guy would kill a 6-pack in victory lane. So,
well, I know that guy loves his beer. The guy loves his beer. Even Tony Stewart talks about drinking a case of Schlitz or something. So I mean,
a whole case.
A whole case. I'm going to go drink a case of Schlitz, and then there was an outrage over it. Oh, for the love of God! Well, he didn't say he was going to go to Talladega, get his car out, and drink while a whole case of Schlitz.
Go home and sit on his deck and drink a case of Schlitz.
That's right. That's exactly what he said, and I see nothing wrong with that. So when the pretend beer drinker got out of his car
tonight.
What was that?
I might do that tonight.
Pretend to drink a beer?
Drink a case of Schlitz.
Well, what he got out of his car and to confront Kyle Busch.
Uh-huh. And
then Kyle Busch floored his car, wrecked Harvick's car, and then drove on. Did you not see that?
Yeah, I saw it. I think they're both wusses.
Well, yeah, of course. You've got a guy that'll pretend to drink beer and a guy that won't get out of his car to fight like a man.
That Kevin Harvick did not get out of his car until all his crew members came over. Then he got out.
I don't blame him, to be quite honest. I mean, the guy's going to ram his car into you. Maybe he knew something more. Maybe he knows something more about Kyle Busch and his propensity for wrecking cars and perhaps killing people. I don't know. Yeah. But I do know this. Now, I did not see the exchange between Montoya. Was it Montoya and
Newman?
And Newman? Did you see that fight?
It wasn't really a fight, but the problem is with Ryan Newman is he races everybody, which is something you liked on every lap.
Yes.
Even when his car isn't good, and he slows everybody down, and he pisses people off. So that's what the case is with Newman, and it's not just Pablo. Like, you could hear it in the in-car radios with all the guys whenever they get around Newman.
Well, no, I understand that, and I believe you should race every lap to race everyone every lap. But I mean, obviously, you should do it with a car that if you can't race these people because your car ain't cutting it, then maybe you do need to back off. You know, I mean, I'm with you there. But what I can't stand about a lot of NASCAR fights is that the pussies get out of their car with their helmets on and try to pick a fight with their helmet on.
Stupid. And
that's just the dumbest thing in the whole wide world. They need to go take a fight class or something.
You know what Kevin Harvick said today?
What did he say today?
I took it up with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch told me, I don't fight, I drive. So I guess what do you do with that?
I don't know. I mean, I think Kyle Busch is just a douchebag. I think fake beer drinking Kevin Harvick could have probably beat the crap out of Kyle Busch. He's probably smart to stay in his car.
No, it probably is, and I don't like Kyle Busch. I never have, but you got to respect the guy who's driving, man. He's constantly in the top 10. It's like an issue with me. I didn't like Jimmy Johnson for a long time. Now I'm respecting him, and I do respect Kyle Busch because he is constantly there every week. But he is always getting into it with people, so obviously there's some issues with his personality there.
You know, I don't respect someone because they're in the top 10 all the time. I respect Joe Nemechek, and he hasn't been in the top 10 for for over a decade, really. So, you know, it's not about how they're doing. I don't respect Kyle Busch because I think he's a douchebag. I have always respected Jimmy Johnson, even though I don't like him.
Yeah. Well, that's just my opinion. I still don't like the guy, but I do respect him.
Well, there you go. And my pick for the NASCAR race at Dover will go as this way. Jimmy Johnson will be in the top 10, so will Dale Jr., Casey Kane, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Juan Montoya, Paul Menard, Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, and Carl Edwards. Joey Logano is going to cause a wreck tonight.
Sunday.
Well, Sunday. You know what I mean. Depends on when you're listening to the show, folks.
Okay. Okay.
And the winner, in my opinion, will be, I'm going to go with Dale Jr. tonight.
Awesome. I hope you're right, man.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so mine is Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Denny Hamlin, Dale Jr., Edwards, Harvick. I know I sound like a broken record here. Edwards, Harvick, Stewart. I do it myself, Tony Stewart, and Kurt Busch. Landon Castle will cause a wreck. And I want to go with Dale Jr. too, but I went with him last week, so I'm going to go Jimmy Johnson to win.
Jimmy Johnson for the win. All right. Well, there you go. There's a reason why we sound like a broken record. These are the guys that we think are usually going to finish in the top 10, and about half the time we're right. So,
you're right.
I mean, you know, when it really comes down to, you're going to sound like a broken record in a sports like this. I mean, I never would have guessed that the guy that won was going to win the Daytona 500 or this last week, whatever his name
Reagan
was.
Smith, yeah.
Yeah, Reagan Smith. I mean, I knew Reagan Smith could race, and I know that he got crossed the line first on another race that he was below the white line, and they took it away from him.
Yeah.
You know,
that was a couple years ago, Talladega, I think it was, and they awarded the victory to Tony Stewart because it does say in the rules there you can't drop below the yellow line, and he did. So technically it was a correct decision, but man, that sucks to lose that one.
Not to pass. You can't do it to pass.
Yeah, because you get to drop so low that no matter you're going to be inside no matter what.
Now Tony Stewart, I'll do it my way. Tony Stewart, he had a pretty decent showing for this last race.
He did.
And I thought maybe he was going to pull it out, but no. And it looked like Junior was doing well towards the end of that last race as well, and then he had to pit.
He hit the cone, so he screwed himself because then he had a pass through.
Yep. So
so it's like 2 weeks in a row for Dale Jr. He's gotten burned. The 1 week they didn't pit when they were supposed to, so he had to pit early and get gas. He fell from second all the way to 19th, and then last week he pitted on a normal green stop like everybody else, but he hit the cone, so he had to do a pass through penalty. He went a lap down. He got it back later on as lucky dog, but he was going to finish in the top 5. He ends up finishing 14th. Which is still not bad because he's still number 4 overall, so he's probably going to make the chase. But I mean, as a junior fan, it kind of sucks. Well, this is what I want to know now. Now that we've talked about NASCAR, I want to know where things stand with the NFL, Dave. Do you know? It's the off season, so it doesn't matter, right? You're right, it doesn't matter. But where are things standing with the labor dispute? Actually, they're here in St. Louis. The 8th. I think it's the 9th Circuit now or something like that. 8th Circuit, 7th Circuit, who knows, court. And they ruled that the lockout, a stay on the lockout. So the lockout is in place. I saw something come across Twitter tonight that there will probably be a ruling on Monday whether or not to overturn the lockout or to put a stay on it and hopefully send everybody back to the negotiation room. Well, that is something that we'll have to keep an eye on here at DSP Sports. I'd like to remind everyone that you can find DSP Sports on Facebook, DSP Sports, one big long word, and you can also find DSP Sports on Twitter under DSP Sports. On Facebook, you'll get to interact with Dave and myself, Don Stevens, as well as our New England correspondent, Wayne Stanley. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP Sports. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Say bye, Dave. Goodbye, everybody.